Wow. You know, there's something about the Second Amendment's clear prohibition shall not be infringed that seems monumentally impenetrable to collectivists. And nowhere is this more evident than Brighton, New York, where politicians not only just passed shocking new conditions on the right to keep and bear arms, some of those politicians and the bureaucrats who will enforce the law actually have the gall to say, get this, they're not infringing on other people's rights. Hi everyone, I'm Gardner Goldsmith for MRC-TV, and this breaking news story might have you up in arms. Pun intended.
The town of Brighton passed a new law on safe firearm storage. It is now mandatory for gun owners to securely lock their guns in a safe or use a locking device that makes the gun incapable of firing. The new law also says that any missing or stolen guns must be reported to police immediately.
The politicians who pass this childish obscenity are telling people that if they don't store firearms the way the politicians command, their private property, i.e. the guns, will be seized by armed agents of the government. They will be fined and they will be arrested if they don't pay the fine or in any other way comply with the political commands. And one bureaucrat, Town Supervisor Bill Moley, offered this insult to those troglodytes who don't get his brilliance. Quote, "What this law does not do is in any way restrict gun ownership. What it does is promote responsible gun ownership." Get it? According to Moley, placing conditions on how one will own something is in no way an act of restriction. It's just that, well, you have to do it their way, which is, of course, an act of restriction. Mr. Moley, a message to you. Rights are unconditional in the face of the government. That's the point. They are supposed to exist free of any state interference. Otherwise, they're not rights. Only when we are voluntarily engaged in interaction with others can we as individuals decide if we want to self-attenuate our rights. Say, when we're invited over to a friend's house and he asks us to leave our boots and guns at the door. Your cavalier falsehood, your Orwellian newspeak, Supervisor Moley, is absolutely stunning. You actually claim that you and your political gang setting stipulations on how people can own firearms is not an infringement of the right? What happens if they don't comply to your command? What if you told people they could only use their firearms with their left hands, or they had to store them 50 feet below the surface of the earth, Supervisor? And get this, folks. The town even trotted out Police Chief Mark Henderson to spray foam more verbal insulation through a self-defeating and insulting statement.
The law talks about the immediate control of your firearm. It doesn't say that you have to have your gun locked at all times. It says you have to be in control of your gun at all times, your firearm. And it doesn't say that you can't use it to defend yourself. It doesn't say that you can't use it to defend your home. The law is very clear on that.
Well, heck, Chief, I was under the crazy impression that the term immediate control is extremely slippery, and intentionally so. I was under the crazy impression that this condescending statement of yours actually sets up a straw man argument, making it appear as if people think that they have to have their guns locked up at all times and never take them out, which isn't the concern, Chief. People understand that they can still try to use their guns for self-defense in their homes. The point is, sir, that you are ready to enforce a law that is patently unconstitutional, that sets conditions on how people can own a firearm and leaves the door open to the government claiming a person didn't have control of his or her weapon at all times. Defining control will be left up to, yeah, you got it, you guys in the government. So, if one lives alone and doesn't want to lock up his or her firearm, what will happen? How about kitchen knives, or rat poison, or spare gallons of gasoline and matches? Any number of items can be used to kill, Chief, and the peaceful ownership of them is up to the property owner, not you, not the supervisor, not the government. Get it? I don't think you do. Wake up, Brighton politicians. You don't seem to understand ethics, you don't seem to understand the definition of rights, and you certainly don't seem to understand how to treat your neighbors in peace. Nor do you get your oaths to uphold and defend the U.S. Constitution, which strictly prohibits exactly what you're doing. Amazing, amazing, and incredibly insulting. We'll see what happens in Brighton. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. For MRC-TV, I'm Gardner Goldsmith.